Tom from Harvey Hi-Fi. Today we're going to have a closer look at Michell's range of turntables, concentrating on the Gyrodec SE. So if you follow me, let's go and get a Gyrodec and take a closer look at them. So Michell Engineering have been building high quality turntables for around 35 years now. A number of their turntables have been used on TV and in films. The Gyrodec, which we have here, has been around in this similar incarnation to this for around 25 years now, and they've continuously redefined it, redesigned elements of the turntable to make it better and better as the years have gone by. The oldest version of it has been upgraded so that it's got the latest kind of elements and arm, etc. that Michell have chosen to use. This one here has got an RB330 arm on, but the whole kind of premise of a Gyrodec or a Michell Engineering turntable in general is that it's going to reproduce the sound as close to the analog master tape as possible. And it does this because they use a very high quality, high mass platter design. Michell always recommend that you use a turntable clamp as well, so it really grips it to the hard platter, the record, and it will take out any warps and get it nice and flat. So there's not going to be any timing issues, or it won't be affected by any outside vibration, etc. And the arm is just going to read the purest signal off the record completely. So the first element I would like to cover with the Gyrodec SE is the support for a clamp. Now Michell Engineering recommend with pretty much all the turntables that they have on the market that we should use a turntable clamp, and I do agree with this to an extent. On any turntable other than a Rager, you should use a clamp to grip the record to the surface. Now the Gyrodec has a very simple style clamp that just you screw down the top and it just grips the record and pushes it flat onto the platter. Now the Orbe and Orbe SE, they work slightly different. The spindle on the platter has like a thread to it, so it screws down and it just clamps the record secure and raises the centre so that the record is flatter onto the surface. I'll cover this slightly more in the next video that we do, where we do go into the Orbe in more detail. The motor is a very low noise DC motor. They've been designed to be separate from the turntable and the platter, so they're not directly underneath it or part of the kind of the turntable plinth. It is on its own, and we call that a floating motor. And the ones that Michell use, they've been put through rigorous testing, so they've had extensive listening tests, and they're very, very reliable, and they are very low noise, and they're not going to transfer any vibration onto the turntable itself. And it's made out of like a machined aluminium, and it's quite heavy and substantial, and again this is going to reduce the motor being affected by any outside forces. Everything on the Michell Gyrodec SE is about isolation, and it is a 3-point spring suspended turntable, and it's of a medium mass platter on there. The turntable itself, they do a basic version which excludes an arm, but it is suitable for use with pretty much any arm that you could buy separate on the market. For example, an SME tone arm. The package that we've got here is the one with the Rager arm, which is going to deliver a high quality of sound anyway. It's got a single acrylic chassis. The sub-chassis there is made of aluminium, which is suspended. Each one of these covers the springs. There's a lot of isolation for the spring there, and that doesn't actually touch the feet, so the feet, again, if they do attract any vibration or become impacted by anything, they're not going to transfer that onto the turntable, because the turntable is not going to be affected by those forces. The impedance on the platter has been matched with the tone arm, so it's going to deliver a very, very high quality of sound. Underneath this, there is the bearings, etc., which obviously when the force of the turning is created by the motor spin round, those again are of a high quality inside of there. With the Rager arm, any Rager cartridge will just fit straight onto the tone arm. If you're going to use an autofon, which we have here, you're going to need a VTA adjuster, so you're going to need an arm board to place underneath there. But pretty much anything will marry up with this, as I mentioned earlier. The leads that come with this are of a high quality ground, which is a lot more substantial than most turntables. So there is an additional power supply that you could get for this, well, like a standalone motor, which will again improve the performance. There's an Orbe upgrade kit that you can use, so you can upgrade the platter, get the larger high mass platter on there, which will improve the sound. There's also two covers which they do. One just covers the arm and the platter. The other is pretty much a full box design with a hinged cover over the top, which is of a higher quality and slightly more expensive than the basic cover for the Gyrodec. So I think that the Michell Gyrodec SE is an absolutely fantastic turntable. I think it is also a brilliant piece of engineering in its own right when you're looking at all of the little details in terms of the design, how it works. It's just been engineered to perfection, really. The soundstage on that turntable, despite us partnering with blades and what you would pretty much find in a reference setup, the soundstage is obviously, it's just huge. Sounds fantastic. There's plenty of separation between the instruments, and the one thing that I always notice with Michell turntables is they always seem to have a much superior bass response when you compare them to the other turntables, and it's very, very controlled, really tight, and there's plenty of impact in it. And as well, there's so much detail overall that it just sounds fantastic. And the other thing I always notice, there's not very much detection with any surface noise on a record when you're using a Michell turntable, and that's another thing that really makes me lean towards them. In addition to that, I think the starting price of $1,500, there's a lot of turntables there that perhaps come with arms, etc., that would represent good value for money, but when I compare them to this, I think it much outperforms them and sounds far better when you partner it with the right arm and the right cartridge. Anyway, if you really enjoyed our video today, please hit subscribe below and don't hesitate to give us any likes on the video. If you would like a great deal on the Gyrodec, please visit our website. It's www.highfix.co.uk. Thank you.